Live from the Injured on the Go Just Call Mo studio.
It's a blast!
It's Orlando's own Tom and Dan.
Welcome to Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. We are live on Twitch and YouTube. Head on over, search at Tom and Dan Live, and check out our live stream. We have all of our guests come through here. We've had the History Center in. We got a guest lined up here in a second. And you can watch us live on Twitch and YouTube.
BDM Appreciation Week is coming up in April. We have a $5 BDM t-shirt for BDMs only. That's going to be a pre-order in March. And then we have a BDM Appreciation Only party, or BDM Only Appreciation Party, happening April 19th. And you have to be a BDM to be invited.
You do. It is a private event for BDMs and BDMs only. If you are a BDM, great. If you're not, you can sign up at tomandan.com/registration. That'll take you to the Love Meter. And, you can get extra shows, extra parties. A community of BDMs that you can talk to. Tom uses all of them to fix up his house.
Yeah.
Like an army of handyman. If you want an army of drug-addicted handymen to help fix your home, we got the guy.
You know what the problem with eliminating the pain clinics and the pain pill crisis that we had in Florida and like cleaning that up is that there was a time
we got rid of the currency for handymen.
Yeah. There was a time where people were desperate for $50.
Yeah. Handshake, you could probably get a whole bathroom redone.
I got an entire deck for a hand job.
Come on. And they
throw off his rhythm.
Yeah, I know.
Sure.
I'm sorry.
I can't say that.
You can. It was me. It was me, and it was work. I call it loads for loads. For my deck.
Have you made any of those bets lately with your wife?
Well, she never pays them off.
How many you up to now? How many you got?
Well, I got lost track.
This guy's sitting on a pile.
I know. You're going to put some IOUs.
Sitting on 25 loads.
Yeah. No, because she'll make the bet, and then when she's losing, she's like, I ain't doing it anyway.
That's
what
kids do. They flip the checker table. You're not supposed to do that.
Sore loser.
That's what children do.
Yeah. And then she's like, you always do this, and she's like, you're scamming me.
And you know you are. It is a little scammy. Yeah.
Yes, it is very.
It's on lock. You know it's on lock.
And she's like, how much did you think about the handicap? Anyway, so EJ, how you doing?
Good. How you guys doing today?
Are we going to play the intro?
Okay, I got a new one.
Okay.
Oh, hold on. That's not it. But that sounds pretty good. That one was good. No, your new song is this.
Nerd Jock! Nerd Jock! Big fat guy with a tiny cock.
Okay.
Nerd Jock! Bowl haircut and floppy socks. Little cock, huge body. Sports, news, nerd party. Ran over an old man playing Pokemon Go. Smallest cock on the show.
There you go. I got you. I got you. All right.
The bad thing is, I just waited. I knew it was coming, and I knew Tom would be able to hold it in.
There's the new one. I got
These are the days I like to work. So happy.
Where history's girl tells you you're old and.
Come on. She told me that. She's like, oh, don't worry. You don't look that old. I did it for the show.
Oh, yeah.
It was a
She did it for the show, for
It
sure.
was also weird that she said that to you. All right, let's do it. Let's nerd jock it up.
All right, EJ, what do you got first?
Let's start off with Jock stuff.
All right.
God, I wish more people got that.
What are you doing?
I'm running it dangerously.
We'll tell
today.
us sometime.
No!
2 months.
No.
2 months. We'll tell. 2 more months. We'll tell.
2 more months.
Yeah. I can feel it. I can feel it coming.
BDM.
I can see it.
I don't think I can go to the party because we have a mic on that day.
BDM, and you can get, and you will ask for compensation. BDM.
Okay.
And he'll ask for compensation.
Yeah. We'll pay you
Yeah.
$28. That's about how much that's worth. Anyway, what do we got?
Going to nerd Jock stuff. LeBron, he's 1 point away from 50,000 points in his career.
All right. So
Too many points.
Too many points. He's been playing too long.
So his last game, he
got
to
49,999 points.
Okay.
I think you stay there.
Was there? Did he?
What if he gets hurt in warm up tonight?
Did he purposefully stop, knowing that he is 50,000 was
See, I
around the
didn't watch
corner?
The game. That's why I didn't.
He had to have, right? He got
Maybe.
that close.
I don't know, man. He kind of does what he wants now. I mean,
And
he'll
probably
leave the
just-
game before
yeah,
it
he'll
ends.
sit.
now.
Yeah, he'll probably like I'm going
literally,
out.
they'll
Did he
be-
want to
He's
do
like,
that?
JJ, pull me out. Come on.
They will be they'll still be playing, and he's already cleaned up his area and walking to the locker room, and its game's not even done yet.
Yeah. Too many games.
Well, it also
Yeah.
might have been a road game, and he might have said, "I want to do it at a home game."
Yeah, that's what
no,
I'm
he might have
thinking.
done that. I don't know if the previous game was a away game or not. So don't quote me on that.
50,000 points. How big of a deal is that?
No one's ever
Yeah,
accomplished that.
oh,
no,
It's
okay.
the first time ever.
It's
he owns a
historical.
scoring title right now
Yeah.
of all time.
He's the guy.
Okay, so even he already
He's just
surpassed it.
padding his stats.
Who was number 2?
Was it Kareem?
I
I
don't
don't
know.
know who number 2 is.
That was a question. not
or was
saying
it Bill? It wasn't.
Didn't
wasn't
come
Bill
up
Russell.
in your
Russell,
research.
was it? And it wasn't Wilt.
Did
Yeah,
you bother to
Kareem was
read?
number 2. Yeah,
Kareem
it was.
is
It was.
2.
Yeah, I was pretty sure. it
Did
was
you
Kareem.
bother to read anything but the headline when preparing for this?
I mean, nobody else in the world does, right?
No, I went into a deep dive about the trade. Okay, my other story I had was about the trade. Have you seen what's going on with the Dallas Mavericks after they traded Doncic? I can't even say his
Luka
name right.
Doncic.
Yeah.
Just say Luca.
Yeah, Luka.
His name is Luka.
I have not. What happened?
Well, okay, now that he left there, Anthony Davis got hurt, so he's
Yes.
out. And then Kylie Irving just blew out his knee and his season-ending injury. So they're like, and then after that happened, they're going to raise the ticket prices for Dallas Maverick games after this.
So it makes sense why Mark Cuban left.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah,
there's
mess.
there's a theory or a conspiracy saying that the owner of the Dallas Mavericks is not Mark Cuban anymore. It's the guy that owns the Sands. What was his name?
All the sand in the world.
Paul
That's
Dumont.
a rich guy.
Paul Dumont. He owns like the Sands in Vegas. They
Yeah.
want to move the team to Vegas, and that's
Yeah, it's a
the
gambling
theory.
thing.
He
It's
wants to
one-
move it to Vegas so he can gamble.
Yeah,
more.
it's a 100. I believe I watched a conspiracy theory on this on YouTube too, and I'm not that guy. You guys
No,
know
I
I'm
don't
not.
believe it either. But
But
it's
it does-
so many coincidences that it's like almost like okay,
it does
it's
appear
possible.
that
Yeah.
the owners want to move the franchise to Las Vegas. It would boost gambling. They already, NBA is already getting some gambling
Yeah,
money. It's already there.
FanDuel and all
It's
that
built
stuff,
in.
yeah.
So you just move the team there and boom.
Well, let's look at just all the evidence, right? First, Mark Cuban left,
Yeah.
which was weird when it happened because I was like, I thought this was
Your baby,
your
yeah.
all-time dream. Is
We
like,
always wanted to do.
yeah, you own a basketball team, an NBA team,
And he still does have a percentage. He's
Yeah,
not completely
Yeah, it's like the
out.
Little Seniors owner
Yeah.
that owned Detroit, the Red Wings, and the Tigers.
But it
After
kind
he played for him.
it kind of makes sense, and I think people are naive to, and I saw this firsthand on the small scale in the, and I've said this story a million times, but it's like this is happening in all leagues. In the arena football, there was a commissioner, right? They had a quote unquote commissioner
Yeah.
that was supposed to protect the integrity of the league, right? that was basically that all owners kind of had to work with, to,
Yeah.
whatever.
Set the rules, make it fair for everybody.
And Brett Bushy told me, and I met the commissioner eating a chili dog.
Dude, I was with you when he said this. I was with you
Yes.
during this conversation. This is true.
And he's like,
Okay.
this is complete BS.
Yeah,
this
this
guy
guy's
is
nothing.
Yeah, he eats chili dogs. He just does whatever we say.
They let a bear get on
It's
the
all
field
BS.
and
Like,
run.
He's literally just the face. We're the ones making the decision
Yeah.
on what's best
Yeah.
for the
And
league
then
and what's
he-
best for us.
Yes, and he pretend all the owners make the decisions,
Right.
and then we just pretend the commissioner is like keeping us under wraps and under control.
Yeah.
It's all a facade.
Yeah.
And then I was like, all right, that I was like, that makes sense.
Totally makes sense.
And then I looked at all the other commissioners. I'm like, I bet you there's maybe not to this egregious amount because it was a joke in arena football, but to a certain extent,
A lot
this
of
is
them,
happening.
yeah.
And so I could see the NBA as a whole and all the owners are like, we want to move a team to Vegas. We also remember the conspiracy theory about like having like just a really good superstar team with LeBron, Luka together or whatever. Like that helps ratings, or and then they all get together. Like this will help the NBA the most,
Yeah.
which will help all of us make money, which is all what we
Well,
want.
you want a strong league, and
Yeah.
attendance is like, I think it's the worst it's been
It's been down.
maybe
Yeah.
ever. Television
yeah.
attendance.
And maybe they all looked at it like,
Or
hey, we are going. This
viewership.
league is going to fold in X amount of decades if we don't do something now. And then I can see Mark Cuban, like this conversation happening a long time ago. Mark Cuban be like, well, I'm out if you
Yeah,
do this.
integrity means a lot to him. yeah.
Or just like now he moves, like he's got his, he's not going to move to Vegas or whatever. It's like he doesn't want the
Well,
team.
that wasn't the dream he wanted.
Yeah,
he
yeah,
had
yeah.
his dream.
Yeah.
He had it.
And then him
They won a
saying,
championship while he was the owner. He was happy.
Yeah, I think he got what
I
he
think he
wanted.
got what he
of it.
wanted. Yeah.
So then he leaves, and then Luka gets traded, and then now this team is now
Falling apart, It's
which
a
is
disaster.
It's going to be a less hard of a sell when they move it, probably, because they're like, now everybody's going to be like, this team
Yeah.
is garbage. Who cares? You know what I'm saying?
Let him go. Yeah.
Probably all orchestrated, and that's not that far-fetched of a conspiracy theory. That's just follow the money.
Yeah.
I
It
don't
makes
know.
sense, like logically.
And there's more to it where they kind of implicate Adam Silver in certain aspects of it, and it gets deeper. Look, if you want to go full conspiracy, just go to YouTube and type it in there, and you'll find
yeah.
everything you need to know.
Well,
But
the problem is,
I
like,
don't know.
The fans are like, oh, wait a minute, these are the rules, and what about the Mavericks? The fans at home and stuff, and then all the owners and everybody looking at the money and where it's going and saying, like, listen, we are all smart. Billionaires or multimillionaires that know how the economy works and stuff. This business model is going to fail if we don't do something
Right.
about it,
Yeah.
and we're not going to have an NBA anymore.
that's a nicer way of saying they don't care about the fan.
Or they're greedy and like,
No, they
we're
do
gonna
actually.
lose money in a
Well,
Dallas,
they do
but
when
we'll
they
make
don't.
lots of money.
They do when they
in
don't.
If
Vegas.
it doesn't exist, then everybody loses.
Yeah, but I think that's the way you rationalize it when you sell your like when you get people that up their season tickets and you raise prices, you say that's how you rationalize it.
Yeah.
By
Yeah.
saying something like that.
We just want to win. That's why we need to
trust me,
increase
they don't
the prices.
care about
Yeah.
you and how much loyalty you have to the Mavs. If they can sell Luka for top dollar, they're going to sell him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Guaranteed.
It's a
And,
money
Because it
game.
is a business.
Yeah.
and keep the NBA, or at least
Make it
have
great
it
again.
thrive again, because it has been on the downfall for a long time.
Yeah, that's the only place you don't want to make anything great again is the NBA. Leave it exactly the way it is.
And the
That's a weird joke. It didn't work.
No.
resting the
work. I'll let it go.
players, and there's been a lot of non-fan motivated decisions that the NBA has done in the past 20 years.
Because they're
which-
hurting.
Yeah.
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 Well,
Baseball's doing it too.
yeah. When you go see an NBA game and you can't see LeBron play
Yeah,
or
he's
your
not gonna
favorite
play,
player,
yeah.
then
He's resting this night. Yeah.
you brought your kids, you spent a top dollar for the tickets, and then now you don't get. They're like, "Where's Luka?" I came here today, and they're like, "Oh, he's resting because they figured out that if he plays too much, he's gonna get injured for the playoffs."
The worst is soccer, though, and Messi never playing in Orlando.
In Orlando,
That's
never.
the worst.
Yeah.
That is the worst. He just picks and chooses where he wants to play. So
yeah.
that sucks.
Um,
What else you got?
The other thing I have is it's kind of a mix of both nerd and jock. They're gonna put
Ooh,
Pokemon.
let's call it Nerd Jock. Should I play the song again?
No.
yes, I am.
You're gonna do more editing. The Pokemon Go company, Niantic, is putting games for the Major League Baseball this summer. They're going to play a bunch of games where there'll be special events at the baseball stadiums. There's,
All right.
I want to say what one.
Oh,
two,
so
three,
this is
four.
the sedentary.
Yeah, you can sit in the stands and play Pokemon
Yeah,
Go,
the
and there's going to be
sedentary
raids
fat
and stuff
children
like that.
don't already play sports can sit in the stadium and play Pokemon
And not
Go
look at the game
and, watch
be
baseball.
looking at their phone instead of the baseball game and
This
get hit
is
by a foul
not-
ball.
this is
I,
not
I,
good.
I thought of this would be the worst thing possible.
This is
Like
not
they're
good.
going to get hit by a foul ball or a home run ball and not even know it.
The chances of getting hit by a ball are never gonna happen.
But there's a reason why there's a warning on the back of the tickets.
Second, bad sign by baseball to like, hey, we need to fill the seats with people who don't care about this.
Yes.
Yeah.
And for a different reason, we'll
And
we'll
most
get
of
the
the
nerds out here to play Pokemon Go, and they'll just sit there and look at their phones.
But looking at the games, you could tell they're picking games that no one's going to be going to. There's like there's no Yankees games. There's a Boston Red Sox game. There's a Mets game. There's a
Stinking
Giants
Mets.
game, a Twins game, a Rangers game, Brewers, Marlins, Mariners, Guardians. Almost all the teams that are like lower tier.
Yeah.
Like none of the like Chicago Cubs don't have a game.
Well, they
the
need the
Yankees don't have a
promotion. I
game.
mean, Atlanta's
Yeah.
they still have
Atlanta doesn't
sellouts.
have a game.
They'll still have a sell. Like if you had like Atlanta playing a team we hate,
yeah.
it'll be filled.
Yeah.
You know.
And so this is the problem that's been happening with a lot of
Yeah.
sports franchises for a while, is that the lower tier ones cannot sell the seats needed to, make a good profit. And who
I'm no
knows-
marketing genius, but Pokemon Go, not the answer.
No.
I don't know what is the answer.
Unless they put something really good there, I might go to the Miami game because they're playing Kansas City Royals on Friday, July 18th.
I don't know the solution for baseball because even though
Well, the Savannah Bananas are doing good. They sold out
Yeah.
the Marlins game twice.
but there's some.
The stadium.
It's hard to say that without. I don't want it to ever sound like I'm ever throwing any shade at Savannah Bananas.
Mm-hmm.
But like the level of standardization. I'm not taking anything away from their entertainment.
model.
They're the best.
It's the Globetrotters.
Yeah,
it's
they
what
are
they're
the best.
doing.
But
Yeah, we know what they're
some
doing.
people don't want that. They want it to be real, and we're not.
Well, there's 30 baseball games going on whenever any given time because there's so many of them.
Yeah.
So the lower tier teams, they cannot have sellouts or even close to it, and they're just trying to bring people to the games. And they're competing, everybody, they're competing with all the other live events and the internet that's showing everybody what to do. Like, there used to not be that. Like, it used to be like, oh, what should we do? Go to the baseball game. Now it's like, what do you do? Oh, let's type in what to do right now in wherever you're at. And then there's a list of every
bunch of stuff,
there's websites that put together, they search the internet for anything local, and then like a bungalow or whatever, there's here's 10 things to do today.
Well,
and
like
everybody has access
Where
to
I
it.
see it succeed, though, like the Tortugas over in Daytona, or like minor league teams that don't have these grandiose, like crazy mega monstrosities of ballparks, they could do really well. Like a smaller ballpark around here,
12,000
I think
seats. Yeah,
that could you could just go and get like a valued ticket and have a fun night out. Like I think it does work some places, but I just think a lot of them are just too huge. They're just gigantic.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Major League Baseball.
you have to fill a stadium if like the Chicago Cubs come to town. They usually sell out wherever they go.
Speaking of Savannah Bananas, I wonder like how their copyright works with what their performance is, because it would make sense that some of these Major League Baseball teams would have like a pre-show to get people in the stands, similar to Savannah Bananas, where they just get like some, I guess AAA baseball players or even like college kids baseball players
To just show some skills or something.
or just put on a Savannah Banana type. Like
a pre-show,
like
a pregame.
in Monster Jam that it just happened. I don't know if they still do it, but
Florida
Like
Georgia
motocross,
Quad
whatever,
Wars.
Quad Wars. I mean, and it's not even that good. Like they just get a
I love Quad
local
Wars.
rednecks that know how to ride quads, and then they say, "Oh, it's
Oh,
UF
those druggy
versus
bears
FSU."
coming out of retirement?
Yeah.
I'm just
I
saying-
always rooted for FSU. Always FSU.
So could you
How
just
many Gator fans we got out there
They would,
tonight?
and
definitely professional. Oh, I got to talk about professional wrestling. Why is everyone mad at John Cena?
Because he turned heel.
Oh,
It's awesome.
did
It's
you see that?
fantastic.
He
Like
went heel.
I'm this
I
close
might
to
go back in
I'm this
because
close to going back in.
if he like make a wish instead of break a
he
wish,
has
that'd be
hair now.
awesome.
He has hair now, and he looks super crazy. And then The Rock, who's also a nice guy, The Rock gave him the cut. He gave him the neck cut, like kill him.
With the final boss,
Yeah,
like
and
he's like
then he kicked Cody Rhodes in the balls, and and then
What the hell are you
God,
talking
it was
about?
out of control. John Cena, what have you done? There's some kid with leukemia sitting in the hospital. He's watching it, and you
Make-A-Wish is
kick Cody
losing
Rhodes
so
in the
much
balls,
money.
and then the kid flatlines.
So it sounds like you're describing a dream.
it does. It does.
Like a crazy fever dream.
like
but
my-
imagine the kids. Imagine you're like, because wrestling, especially him, he has granted more wishes than anyone
Yeah.
in the world. I was
Make-A-Wish,
explaining-
he's
we were explaining this
fantastic
to
at that,
Maisie,
yeah.
and then Maisie was like, wow, he's awesome. And then we watched the footage, and then Maisie's like, why is he doing
Why
that?
is he doing
Me and Andrea told Maisie, we're like, oh yeah, this is John Cena, because she doesn't follow wrestling at all.
Yeah.
And we explained, we're like, yeah, he's a really good wrestler. He's like the face of the franchise, and he's granted more wishes for Make-A-Wish than any other celebrity in the history of time. She's like, oh, that's awesome. And then we watched the video of him turning heel, and then like Andrea's trying to explain to Maisie what a baby face is and what a
The
heel
heel
is.
is,
It's
yeah.
hard. Like she's like,
The heel
so he's
turn.
playing it, and then so she asks a really good question. If he makes all of these Make-A-Wish kids' dreams come true, why would he want to break their hearts? And I don't know what to say to her. I don't know what to tell her. She goes, well, why would he do that if he's done that, then why would he want to pretend like he and make them sad? I'm like, I got nothing, babe.
Well, half of them will never see it.
It's just like my whole
I'm sorry.
timeline was just why
My
is John
God.
Cena? It's like people going to McDonald's because he's like sponsoring McDonald's and
Yeah.
their new deal meal. It's like I can't do it, Cena today. I was like, what are you talking
Yeah,
about?
people were throwing
what happened?
People have vandalized the McDonald's. They have the signs,
Oh.
and John Cena comes up. He's like in a yellow polo, and he's like, "Hello," like, and then people have been punching him and ripping him off the.
They broke his heart.
I
Everyone's
think
hearts.
in somewhere out in like further in the middle of the United States, a man drove his like truck through it. Not today, Cena. You ain't turning heel on me, boy. And I don't like that goddamn Polynesian rock either.
Oh no.
He's the one that told him to do it.
Did that person do it for real?
Or was it
did
an
he
accident
do
and
it-
it's just
or-
adding up everything?
Because
is
it's a
it like
trend of trolling or
story?
something. I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know.
Or because it was like a joke for his friends or something.
No
like,
BS.
or was he really mad?
No
that-
BS to you.
yeah.
I bet you it's an exact 50-50.
Yeah, he'd probably give me a 50-50.
An exact.
Yeah.
Like a right down the middle, perfect.
There's enough dum-dums that believe
just
that
like the
wrestling's
country
still
voted.
real.
Just like the country
Yes,
voted, right down
well,
the middle, boom.
I think it's a third.
Some are
and a third
trolling,
and a third.
and then the other ones 100% believe that he hates the sick kids now. And he's a bad. And he's
And
a
he
bad
has a shirt
man.
that says "Don't give up." Now it just says "Give up."
Yeah, you can see me. You can see me be mean to all these kids.
Oh, break a wish
Do you think
instead of
it-
make a wish.
That's great.
Do you
yeah,
think
I
it's
think
great?
they could do so much marketing with it now. It's a great marketing
It
idea.
even got Tom to slightly talk about wrestling for one. For 1 second,
For a
he's like,
little
"Wait,
bit.
what?"
yeah,
So for him, this is more fun, right?
I think
Gotta
so.
be.
He gets to have a good time.
He's retiring
Yeah,
this year. I
he's
really
done.
think this
So
is
it's his last,
this is it.
His
effort
last
to,
hurrah,
to
yeah.
like do a heel.
He's doing something fun.
and because he's never played a heel before.
No,
No, not that I know of.
I think at the very beginning he was a heel for a little bit.
Yeah, the wrestling guys know way more than I do,
Yeah.
but it does kind of make me want to get back into it because it's so weird. And they're like, I don't know, like
The good guy being a bad guy is always fun every once in a while.
it is fun. The Rock, to me,
Being a
has
good bad
always
guy,
been a better bad guy.
He was always a better bad guy.
always a better bad guy.
Yeah. He
Like,
was always the anti-hero when
Maui,
he was
when he
face.
finally made it to Maui, he sucks. When he was like the eyebrow up and he was like kind of sexy and real mean.
He was the anti-hero the whole time, which was
way
fun to
cooler.
watch.
He's
then,
way
yeah.
cooler. What else you got?
Well, that was all I had for Jock. Let's go over to nerd stuff. A lot of my friends are going to the cast preview for Epic. Have you heard any of your friends talk about it yet?
I don't have any friends.
You don't have any friends?
Not really.
So-
No, I saw a couple of my Universal friends
Yeah.
brag about how good it is.
How they were fantastic. Like the Donkey Kong ride is amazing.
So the cast preview is they bring employees.
So if anything goes wrong, they die and they can't sue them.
All right.
Yeah.
And are these employees? They work for Universal,
They
or
work for Universal.
are going to work for Epic Universe?
Some of them are going to work for Epic Universe. Some of them are working at the original parks. So they get the cast preview, but they can work out all the kinks with employees instead of guests that are
And
paying.
Do they take their phones and stuff? Or
Yes,
are
you're
they-
not allowed to take any
Okay.
pictures and stuff like that. So
So
but a lot of the
gotta-
stuff is gone online, like the how to train your dragon. That dragon that's it's a Boston Dynamic robot with a dragon skin over it, and it looks amazing. Have you seen that yet?
Yeah, people have been flying drones
Over it,
yeah,
yeah.
and then like
I'm watching the fireworks shows that have been going off.
yeah, and then there's I'm sure some of the construction workers and stuff.
My brother's doing some of the lighting.
Probably throwing a Burger King wrapper at the drones.
I'm saying they're taking pictures of it. Hey, look
throwing
at
an
this.
extension cord at the drone, seeing if they can take it out.
We used to know a guy that worked over there, and every once in a while he'd like send me a picture, and he'd be like, "Hey, don't share this," and it'd be like some crazy behind the scenes stuff.
Yeah.
So is
Like the werewolf.
now
It's like the monsters area.
the opening week is gonna be insane.
May 25th, I think it is.
and
or 22nd.
and so
We got some people in the
Yeah.
chat room that already have their tickets for May 25th. You could not pay me
Or-
any amount of money.
it seems like it'll be slammed.
You couldn't
Oh,
pay
the
me
first day would
any-
be horrible
You,
for
you couldn't pay
sure.
me any amount of money to go in the first week at any time.
Now, okay, maybe
Unless I had the VIP tour and I could go on everything, and I might do that because the kids went to the Disney, the Universal's Nintendo Land, and they loved it, and they was like, "That's going to be at our place this year."
So, okay, if I was in charge of this theme park, I would say to myself, what we don't want is
He's going to be Cartman from South Park.
to flood this place so much that all we see in social media
Complaints.
is like videos of an insane sea of people trying to get around.
to train your dragon
Yeah.
hours.
Yeah, and then giant long lines because
And nothing works because of course a couple of the rides are going to break down the first day.
hours to train my dragon, got to the front, broken.
So let's limit the amount of people we let in so that all the social media and stuff looks like it's the lines aren't that long, it's not that packed. Slowly increase it later because you don't want that at the beginning.
Yeah.
And you think they'll do that, or you think they're just gonna go?
Yeah.
But
flood?
they are limiting it, and because you have to buy multiple tickets, and you had to be like a season pass holder to buy like the first month.
They're making it a little more rare.
Yeah.
Okay.
You have to
Yeah.
either
So it
stay
won't
at
be
one of the
crazy.
new hotel that's there.
Like, I
or,
can't
like you
go.
guys can't get tickets unless you know somebody that would.
I can get tickets. You know how many people?
Yeah,
I
you
know my
can't go
friend.
anyway,
I do
so it
like,
doesn't
I do
matter.
like to make sure you know that
Yeah.
Tom and I in this city can do anything we want.
Yeah.
And I want you to know that.
I can get tickets by this afternoon if
Yeah,
I want.
yeah,
I know enough.
like literally,
you know how
like
many people I
like,
know, EJ?
rest assured that I can have you killed by sundown. I can do
Challenge
that.
accepted.
I can do that.
Come get some.
I can definitely do that. There's
You know
so
how
many,
easy it would be for-
all I got to do is drive downtown, find you at Wall Street, push you off your stool.
Yeah. Or just wait a little bit.
My good friend Diabetes is waiting.
Oh, I don't have any purple feet. Come on.
Tom picks up his phone. I'm going to call an assassin. Hello, Diabetes.
So I know we've talked about all the rides at Epic Universe and like
Yeah.
Mario Land and everything. Is there anything
Harry
else
Potter.
that hasn't been talked about?
I don't
or is
know,
it-
like-
it's all out there, right?
Yeah, but the comments that my friends had were the Isle of Berk is amazing. Like where
The
How to
Island
Train
of
Your Dragon.
Berk. That's not even it. There's Nintendo Land. There's How to Train Your Dragon and the Island
How to
of
Train Your
Berk.
Dragon. That's the name of the
great.
place.
Hey, everybody, come on over and see Shannon Burke. Shannon Burke's motorcycle to Screaming Eagle. Welcome to the Island of Burke.
Does the Silver Lake Kevin work there now?
No. Not during Trump's America. Are you crazy?
So what is the Island of Berk?
That's How to Train Your Dragon. That's the name of the
Oh,
island.
Too
That's-
serious.
Yeah.
And the Island of How to Train Your
And
Dragon.
Hiccup was the name
when
of
does
the
How to
character.
Train Your Dragon movie come out? It's
This
soon.
summer.
Okay, so it's about the same time.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah,
they're,
but
they're matching
But
up
the
perfectly, which is a
cartoons
good
are like
idea.
40 years old or
Yeah.
something, right? Like How to Train Your Dragon was all the adults.
They're on like 4, aren't they?
All the adults hate the dragons, and the kid meets a dragon and falls in love with it, and then
Yeah.
they bond.
It's actually
and then
nice,
his
yeah.
whole thing is he has to tell all the, hey, don't kill him, please. It's my best friend.
Yeah.
I hate those movies. Enough of those. Please, because you know what you've never had in the movies? You've never had it where the dad kills the best friend, kills the dragon, and it's like, fine.
Hold on, what if he trained your dragon to kill your other dragons?
that's
that's how to make your
badass.
dad proud of you.
Yeah.
And then
And you're like, we are
Isn't
the
that
only
the plot
family.
for Terminator 2?
And then you're like, we're the only family with a dragon, so we now control all of your families.
Yeah.
Give us your riches.
Oh, that's Game of Thrones.
Give
Sorry.
us your jewels.
House of Dragon.
Yeah. How to dominate other families
Oh.
by
Political
training your
thriller
dragon.
with a dragon, yeah.
All right, what else you got?
The other thing I got, I sent you a video, I think, on Facebook
You know,
Messenger.
I couldn't get it to play.
Okay, don't worry
from
about
there,
it.
but-
Okay, so Honda and
I can
Toyota are making motorcycles of the legendary Pokemon Miraidon and let me make sure I get the other one right. Koraidon. I always get messed these names up.
Yeah, we're now when he comes in, it's just Poke News. It's Fat Nerds Poke News.
My God.
Actually, I was thinking about taking a break from Pokemon
Miraidon
because I'm kind of burned out.
Miraidon and Koraidon.
Yes, and they were motorcycle Pokemon.
Right
of
now,
Scarlet
I wish I was
and
riding into a wall.
Scarlet and Violet Pokemon. Depending on the game you pick, this is the dinosaur Pokemon motorcycle that you get to ride in the game.
Okay, I got this
And
here. I'm gonna try and pull this.
Honda
up.
made one that it's supposed to be functional. Toyota made one that was kind of functional, but not really.
So they basically made a replica of the
Pokemon,
cartoon.
yeah. And it's supposed to be at this Honda event in Tokyo, Japan this week.
This is just like they're just showing the seat that looks like a bird's tail.
Yeah.
They're showing the wheel that looks like the teeth of a some sort of fantasy creature.
Or the tail of a
Yeah, and
dragon,
then
yeah.
they're gonna show like a silhouette. Oh, there it is from the top, like if you're riding it. And it does look like a rideable Pokemon motorcycle.
because it's going to be at this event.
And if you pulled up to anything on that during Bike Week, you would get murdered.
Bike Week
It is Bike Week, isn't
yeah,
it?
it's happening
Yeah,
right
yeah,
now.
Yeah. That's
Happening right
that's the
now.
other reason why I brought it up.
So
You just thought of that.
here's
Yeah, for sure.
Dude, you guys didn't
I
see
love you, dude. That's awesome.
the crazy amount of motorcycles on I-4. Like,
Oh, my God.
we,
Yeah.
we were riding on I-4
Orange
over the weekend,
Avenue.
and it was like, God. Then I remembered, I was like, oh, our anniversary is always on Bike
Just
Week.
a sea of loud, non-vaxxed obesity rolling down the road.
I remember when I took Crystal on a white limo up to Ocean Deck on our
Is that
anniversary.
the guy with that took the Polaroid camera?
Yeah. And we were sitting in traffic, and there's bikers all around us looking in the limo to see if
You gotta get lucky tonight. Is that Shooter McGavin?
Vince McMahon was in there.
Stone Cold's gonna pour some concrete on you.
Oh, that's Vince McMahon's son, Shane.
So back to
It hasn't changed.
These-
20 years.
these theme motorcycles. Here's why they suck.
Yeah, hit it.
Yes, let's hear it.
So every time they build one of these replica movie or cartoon motorcycles,
It's
right?
Batman's motorcycle.
And I knew this. Remember from the movie Tron?
Okay.
And someone made a Tron bike,
Yeah.
and
I
it
think
was
I think the guys down the road here,
Disney did it.
Oh yeah, what are their names? They're friends with Angel, our buddy Angel.
yeah.
But
And
Parker Brothers. Parker Brothers did it here in town.
Really?
I think. Yeah,
Okay.
I think Parker Brothers made a Tron cycle.
And then when you see it, you're like, "Whoa, no, that's a real Tron bike or whatever,"
Yeah.
and it's unbelievable, right? But it barely can move.
It's janky.
Is
as
that
hell.
functional? That's why I
know.
think this one is because supposedly this one can put its arms down and like actually stand up too.
yeah, but
As-
it's, but it's
Yeah, but
never
it can
as
do it
cool.
one
One time,
But
yeah,
it's
it
like
broke the fiberglass.
You press the button, it's like, and then the arms go down.
It's real slow. It's got to be plugged in.
And
Very
they're like,
bad
"Look, it's
hydraulics."
standing." And then it's like, "No, but it's not like the way the
It's not
cartoon."
gonna crawl like it in the Pokemon game.
Yeah, and it's just never as
And
good.
no obese bikers
Of
are going to
course.
stand around long enough to watch you plug in your robot Pokemon bike and make it stand up.
Yeah. It's it's like the Batmobile. It's like
Yeah.
barely
I'm
can
looking
ride
at you,
it.
Joe
You can barely
Burrow.
turn right. Yeah.
Joe Burrow bought a Batmobile because he's an idiot with dumb hair.
And they stole it from him. And he said
They knew he was at a game and they went to his house.
And he said he doesn't want to talk about it.
I hate Joe Burrow. I do. I hate him in his Batmobile. I hate him.
Yeah.
Oh.
When I saw his hair bleach and then I realized
Yeah.
he bought the Batmobile, I was like, I worked for you.
I don't like.
I thought that was a funny joke.
That is a pretty good joke.
I don't like that he smokes cigars. He looks like a baby.
From Roger Rabbit.
Oh my god, that's funny.
So yeah, Honda makes this bike, and then
Yeah.
whatever happens to these bikes, do they just get like
I think they
auctioned
go into
off?
someone's collection.
Museums,
Yeah.
a lot of private collectors buy
Yeah.
them. There are some like the ones that I like are the ones when they do prototypes of bikes that do cool things. Like we were getting a lot of like really cool electric bikes, but now I'm afraid I think we're beyond that. Like, tell me if this is happening to you guys. Electric bikes. There was like a window where they were new, right? Then there was a window where there were reputable dealers, Suron and other ones that I know of. And now it feels like that's all done. We blew through the regulation period. Now you can get basically a Suron for like half the price. You got to wait forever to get it, but you can get it from some dude in China.
Yes.
Is that where we're at now, right?
Yeah, but it's gonna be more expensive.
Oh, well, gladly. Yeah.
But
Well, we know.
Of course, yeah.
but
25%.
Yeah.
they but yes, you're right. But the electric bikes
I already
are-
bought my batteries.
They're here to stay. Every time I go to Brooksville, and I've been going there for 35 years.
Decades.
Yeah.
So
We know you're old.
I see
related told us.
more and more electric bikes and
Really?
off-road electric motorcycles. Mainly the Surons, the electric dirt bikes. They haven't really made a good
The
electric
kids in
four-wheeler.
Baldwin might as well have I curse. Might as well have a Suron gang.
But
I can
There's
believe that.
so many Suron bikes in this neighborhood.
they're getting better and better, and then even the electric road bikes. The problem, they're like Harley. My buddy, who's a Harley mechanic, told me that the Harley electric bike never took off like they thought it was, and it's a lot of times because the Harley brand.
Yeah, it goes against its iconic.
And they can't get like the old Harley guys that like the Harley
Loud
brand
pipes and all that stuff, yeah.
to buy into electric bikes. But other brands are selling like crazy, and electric bikes are fun to ride. They're
great to ride.
I remember Jimmy had one, and this was a long time ago before they were really good. And I rode, I forgot what it was,
Oh,
a zero.
yeah.
It was a zero
It
bike.
Was that one of those
zero
poker
bike.
runs or something like
No,
that?
I remember
No,
that.
he had just got someone from a power sports place lent it to him, and then he brought it over to my house.
Yeah, that
and
thing was ridiculous.
It was fun as hell, so fast that it
Yeah.
was crazy
and nimble.
I
can believe that.
and quiet. And that's where it's kind of dangerous because cars
You want
don't
people to
hear
know
you.
where you are, yeah.
Although that's kind of a facade because you hearing a motorcycle, you don't know exactly where it's coming from. So it's not that much of,
just
you know what I'm saying? Like you hear it.
Yeah.
So maybe it heightens
but
you.
also you be aware.
I just
Yeah.
dress
I mean, it's up
more
to the
loud.
bike to-
Like I'll wear my Tom and Dan, dry fit, like yellow, and then I'll wear my January 6th charging helmet.
okay.
My buffalo hat.
But they've made electric side by sides, and if you I see them on TikTok because I got into a TikTok hole one time where I see these people, they're switching out, they're putting like Tesla motors and big electric motors in side by
They
side.
love changing that
and,
stuff, yeah.
and riding them on the dunes and stuff. And then they've made electric, a drift car that Travis Pastrana has been riding, and so because they are faster than combustion engines. It's just the battery to engine ratio, weight ratio, it's getting better and better, and it's going to surpass.
They can be
as soon as the battery gets small enough.
They can certainly be quicker, but the power drain too is ridiculous. Like my car, a lot of people don't understand this, but my car being electric won't really hit its top speed unless you have it
fully charged.
You got to have it fully charged. You got to warm the battery.
Yeah.
You know, there's certain things that people don't know in order that you have to do to activate it and really get the most out of it. But it'll fly. Like there's some people getting 2.0 to 60 in 2.7 seconds.
That's
just
crazy.
by charging. They'll charge at the drag strip. Like they'll literally carry their cable and plug it in there, and then they'll warm the
Unplug and then
battery
punch it.
while they're sitting on the strip, and then hit it.
Yeah,
It's weird.
There are electric dirt bikes in like X Games, especially there's this guy that does. I've lost track of the people's names, but they do the
I know what
quarter
you're talking
pipe
about.
height competition. And there's a guy on an electric bike.
He does
thing.
that whip thing at the top,
Yeah.
Where he
right?
gets to the top and he turns it sideways.
And he can go higher than everybody else just because of the torque of his electric bike. And then there's some electric bikes and there's just freestyle motocross. And so that it's going to transfer over to supercross and all dirt bike racing because the electric bikes are now on par with four strokes and soon to surpass them.
Yeah.
Because they're just faster. And that's you know, so there's no way around it. And some people are like, it's not the same. Well, guess what? You're gonna die out.
Dinosaurs
and
will
then
die.
The younger guys are gonna go and be like, I want the best motor that gives me the fastest, better chance to win, whatever. I could jump higher, and they're just gonna all go to electric bikes because the motors are more efficient.
Yeah,
and that's it.
Also, they're pretty damn reliable, from what I understand.
Yeah.
I mean, they're newer, so granted, time will tell. But pretty reliable.
When was the last time you talked to Pastrana?
I saw him recently
Did you
on
call
Facebook.
him out on your number?
Made a post. He made a post about this
I
happened
fooled
yesterday.
this Drunky the Bear one day and gave him a wrong number.
He's like, I always think about. He says missed connection. I met this guy.
You know what's funny? I was gonna make a comment on his Facebook post. He just made a post like 7 minutes ago, and I caught it, and it was only like 10 comments.
You didn't do it
You
first?
should post.
So
And you should say, do you remember me? Yes or no?
he said he was at his daughter's cheerleading competition, and someone created a panic and screamed "shooter," and everybody started running,
Oof.
and there were people falling down, and everybody ran out.
Yeah,
of the
you should
convention
ask, do
center.
you remember me?
Remember that time you ghosted me?
Hey, I'm sorry to hear about your daughter.
I know you're panicked right now, but do you remember I met you at the X Games? And you gave me your number.
You should load in on him. He's like, you gave me a liar's
This is what you
number.
deserve.
You liar, you mother.
I was gonna pop in there like, hey, I was sorry about all this. Also, remember you said I could manage your
shop.
your X Games style theme park you're gonna build. You did say that in latitudes because I said I had a business degree, and he's like, oh, you should come manage my house. Like, oh yeah. I was like, this is way better. I was gonna leave with him. That happened. Like, can I start tomorrow?
Yeah, can I get a ride?
Stupid radio thing's going nowhere.
Do you have any clothes I can wear?
My boss wants to hit me with a stick.
Anyway,
Are you going to do it? Let's talk about MyCon. Are you doing it this year?
Yes, we're doing it April 19th, the same day you guys are doing the BDM show.
Why would you go up against us?
I don't know. My wife
We're
picked it.
gonna
I didn't do
destroy
nothing.
you. We're gonna, you know what?
No,
Tell your
everyone should
wife
go
it's-
to
tell your wife
MyCon,
this is
and we'll have
war.
more shuttle from there to the event.
I think it was
Ours
Justin
at
Trudeau who said it today. He said it was a very, very stupid thing to do to go up against us. Very stupid.
I'm not threatened by Canada. You understand? Does Canada understand what we've been indoctrinated for years?
yeah.
You guys are not threatening at all.
one of our
Hey, you're
favorite
the
movies was
nicest-
Red Dawn. We were ready for it since
I
I was
love that movie.
84.
You're the
I love that
nicest
movie.
people. Like,
Yeah.
you're all the
They're
people
my
I've
favorite
never-
people.
yeah.
They're my favorite people.
Yeah, yeah.
They also known for a lot of the Geneva Conventions. Rules were written because of Canadians.
I don't care. I love them.
Geneva
I
Convention
love
style.
them.
I'm just saying
Yeah.
that.
Just saying.
Geneva was the name of the person that left that old man we all knew.
Why would you-
to make you laugh. There's a comedy show, man. I'm trying to do jokes.
So
Inside jokes that everyone's missing. That's
There's
why.
an old man we knew. There's a really old man we knew that dated a very attractive woman, and her name was.
Don't
Janine.
talk about it.
What?
I thought it was George
was a
Washington.
mismatch.
Wasn't he dressed like George Washington?
No, he was like.
That was a different
He
guy.
was like
Yeah,
70 years old, and she was like 22.
So it's Bill Belichick.
Yeah, it
Okay.
was definitely.
Let's talk about the blue pill man.
Finally, finally, he's going to my
You can
list.
take
of
over my
topics.
bit. Just
He's
let
on
us-
my
also,
list
yeah.
of topics.
So I see them.
Yeah.
And,
Okay.
And
They
first,
need to shave and clean themselves up because they're very disgusting.
what I will tell you is when I see them, I'm like, God, not as old as
You want.
Yeah. They're kind of
Yeah.
like these,
I want wheelchair old.
like I'm getting older, so like I'm like these guys are like 56.
You're like, I'm a blue pill man.
I'm not that far away. Oh no!
Yeah. Like, these
Yeah,
guys
yeah.
are like 7 years older
Let's
than
be
Daniel.
honest. I'm going to say what I say. I feel spicy today. Jim Colbert looks exactly.
Yes.
Jim
Yeah, he
Colbert.
could be a
from
blue
He
the-
pill
should be
man.
sponsoring
Jim
that. Yeah.
Colbert from the Jim Colbert Show looks exactly like one of the three, and there are three, blue pill men. Now, how do I know there's three? Well, that's a great question, Daniel. Well, two of them are the regular old men. They're the face of the franchise. And then there's one loose cannon old man, and I call him Red. Why do I call him Red? Because his whole body
Is red.
pinky red, and he's the one that does the banging.
Who's darker, Joe Rogan or him?
I
Pinky
like
red? No, he's on he's got to be on testosterone. He's
Okay.
very red.
I like the guy with the dyed black mustache. and
Yeah,
bozo.
he's one of the talkers. He's one of the talkers.
Yeah. Anyway, and then when whatever, like the girl comes in,
Yeah.
it was
Sad.
drastically
Very sad.
younger, probably in their
Yeah.
really honestly mid to late 20s.
Yeah.
Like, how do you go out?
Maybe 30
But
tops.
they
How do
make
you
her
go out
look
to
younger.
how do you go out with your friends after this to the new Captain America movie after you just had a threesome with the blue pill man? How do you go?
Yeah,
They're like, why were you late for the movie, Chantel?
And you know what's weird
You
is
know?
so many people are gonna see it. Like honestly, you
Yeah.
could do almost anything else and no one will see it.
But
This
this,
they'll see it.
everyone will see it.
Yeah. In fact, so much so that every man listening to the show right now,
knows
they
exactly
all,
what we're
yeah,
talking
they all
about.
know
what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
like
Yeah.
there's no other topic that everybody knows.
Yeah, you
except
know
for
what's
this.
funny is I said blue pill men. You know what everybody in their car did? 3 people. They envisioned him, and they even
Yeah.
envisioned Red,
So
the red guy.
I feel like there used to be a time where young women could do porn and be like, no one will ever see it. And now's the time everybody sees it. More than anything else. Like you could do anything on our show. No one will see it. You know what I'm saying? For the most part.
one will
Like,
see it.
do you understand
Oh,
how
that's
many
why my comedy career didn't last.
how many views the
Well,
look
there's
at
a
the
lot of
bottom
reasons.
look at the bottom number of views. It's absurd.
It's crazy. It's in the millions for sure.
It's like 18 million. You know how big that is? More than being on like 5 local newses.
Where do they live, the blue pill men? Are they
no.
Miami? Are they Miami
Miami
guys?
for sure.
Are they
Broward?
Cali guys?
Or are
I
they
bet they're
Broward?
Cali guys.
Yeah, it was hard because there was a
Yeah.
huge like
One of the blue pill men had emphysema, and because of the California fires, he's not doing too good.
yeah a lot of that business moved out of California and then we're like South Miami with Sea Fiesta and that company.
Yeah.
My brother-in-law used to insure them.
reputable company.
Yeah.
Yeah. Guy, the one of the owners bought.
Their money's just as green and white, but it's green.
One of the owners of that bought the former band member. I forgot of the Who. Like $18 million Miami Beach
Wasn't
mansion.
it Pete Daltrey?
It was
Roger Daltrey?
It may have been,
Roger?
yeah, it may have been the singer of the Who,
Yeah.
like sold his
I think
Miami
that's Roger
Beach
Daltrey.
mansion to him, and that's how much money these guys made while the getting was good.
Yeah.
and
Like,
now it's
2003 was
Yeah, yeah.
like the peak, right?
And then they changed all to legitimate businesses like credit card processing and like
Yeah.
other stuff.
That's what all
Like
criminals do.
But they
right?
kept the name Sea Fiesta, which I thought was very weird because sometimes
I was a fan of Bang
sometimes
Bus.
I'll be like, signing up for my Planet Fitness, and I'll see a credit card charge come through, and I'm like, oh, they're still processing it.
All right, let's take a break. When we come back, we'll talk about other things.
Okay.
I want to talk about the Miami Dolphins and how I'll die before they win the Super Bowl.
Oh yeah, probably.
And then I also want to talk about how
Jimmy Johnson retiring. T. Higgins.
Okay, yeah. T. Higgins. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
We'll come back.
All right, we'll be right back.
Welcome back to A Corporate Time. So Jimmy Johnson's retiring.
Yeah.
After 30 years.
I don't like that. He's a comforting
Broadcasting.
face on football.
He
I
was
like him.
very nice every time I met him.
I like Jimmy Johnson. I've always liked him. I do not like Terry. Well, I don't really have an opinion of Terry Bradshaw. But you were making me laugh because you said if they pushed him out and fired him that you think he would die immediately.
Well, didn't he come into the Monsters and say that he was clinically depressed after the Super Bowl, and he was talking about that?
Well, he was.
And I think he would probably die right
doing
after
a
that.
media tour because he was an advocate for Cymbalta or for like one of those.
Something like for antidepressant.
Yeah, for some depression medication at the time.
I remember seeing some 60 Minutes thing they did on Jimmy Johnson, and like he lives most of the time, and when he's not in football season or whatever, in the Keys, and he's got like
Always goes fishing boats.
Yeah, he's got like a fishing boat, and he fishes with his other like football friends.
Oh, that's awesome.
And he looks like he had lived the
He
life.
lives the life,
you
for
know,
sure.
And the worked probably. It's interesting that he loved living the Keys, fishing and stuff, but he still during the season did the grind for so long and retired at 81. So you don't have that much time to.
But you're working 1 day a week. It's not too bad.
No, it's more than that. Like you say 1 day a week because that's the day he's on the air.
Yeah.
But you got to do a lot of research.
You think
like,
he does? You
oh,
don't
yeah.
think he just
No,
shows
he
up
has
and
some
he has
he
guys
has
that
some
do it
person
for
to
him?
do it
No,
for
but
him.
you have to know which you're talking real time about players that you need to know their names. You need to know about the teams.
I mean, you stay in it, but you
Yeah,
don't
but you
think
can get a little research from other people.
I
doing
mean,
it for
I
you.
do it when people come in here. I'll read a little bit, and then all I have to do is know just enough to ask one question that's right, and then I sound smart.
Right?
You
Yeah,
know, like
yeah.
he could be doing a variation
Because how
of
often
that.
does he talk? He talks like maybe once a segment,
Yeah, I guess. But those type of guys, though, I feel
and it's
like
usually
the
all
coaches,
just
Yeah, but they're
you got to score more points to the other team. That's what you got to do, and you got to stop them on the goal line.
Do you guys have a favorite broadcaster that you do like somebody you're like, oh, I like that guy?
Well, Tony Romo for sure.
I like Romo.
Romo's good.
I like Gronk every once in a while.
Gronk does a
Only because
weird.
he's weird.
he was
I think
weird last
but
time.
it throws people off, and that's what I like about him. He goes weird angles with some of the players.
Yeah, he says some weird stuff.
Yeah.
Also, with Jimmy Johnson, it's a testament that you should let your hair go white early because it looks like he didn't age over.
Oh, he's been white
30
since the
years.
early
Yeah.
in like the late '80s.
with the Cowboys.
When he was with the Hurricanes, he had gray hair.
You're right. But even so if you let your hair go white early, then it was like, oh, Jimmy Johnson still looks good at 81. It's like really, it's just because he's had white hair for 35
but it makes you
years.
81 forever.
Yeah,
Yeah,
He's
but
the Steve Martin. Yeah,
Once you get up, yeah, but look at Steve Martin too.
Steve Martin looks good still.
Yeah, you don't know his
He looked
age.
bad at the beginning, good at the end.
Yeah, that's what I'm going for.
Yeah,
You know, like right now, people say I'm old, but if I live to like the ripe age of
Past the 12.
55,
So another sports story I saw.
Sorry, that was too far.
Is that the NFL Combine's over, and this year was a historic low for players at the Combine from small schools.
Mm-hmm.
There was only like 7 players that from small schools that showed up at the Combine, and it's a direct result of the NIL.
Yep.
Because any good player, other schools that have money are going to offer them more money than
Sure.
the small school, because they have a bigger budget.
Or they have a pro day there because in Miami we used to have pro day at our place, and most of those guys didn't have to go to the combine.
does the
Yeah.
combine survive?
Ooh, I don't know.
Or do you just
Well, there's
make
still
it,
money making off it because they're still selling advertising for the
or do you
ESPN
just
showing
do it, or do you just do it by like appointment only almost, right?
No,
like,
they still, because it's just a matter of where the players are coming from.
Right.
So the players are all just coming from bigger schools that have the money to play the players.
Yeah.
Because anybody good, and I read some article with there were some linemen. He stayed at his school. It was like North Dakota University or whatever, because there was like a really good lineman coach that he wanted, and he's potentially a first round pick.
Oh.
So he knows he's going to the NFL. So he turned down 6 figures NIL money, but he knows, and everybody around him knows he's going to the NFL. So it's
Yeah.
kind of really, doesn't really matter.
Why
doesn't
take the
matter.
risk? Yeah,
Um,
going somewhere.
And he wanted to stay with this particular coach, so he had a very unique situation. But anybody else, like he even said, he's like any other player is going to take the money and go to the school because you never know if you get hurt or whatever. Like this is your only time to be able to make 6 figures without, if you don't make the NFL.
I've been following a little bit of this just because the draft I know is
Is
coming
couple weeks
up.
away, yeah.
And
Have you seen the pictures of the people running the 40s?
No.
Oh, dude, you look up the pictures of the guys running or faces from the combine. They usually have some craziness that they're all like, or doing something crazy with their face while they're running.
I was watching old Shadir.
It was one of my favorite things to see.
I was watching Shadir have a press conference, and they were,
Explaining why he wasn't doing the combine
yeah,
and all that
yeah,
stuff.
and he didn't win me over. I even went in with open mind. I'm like, okay, win me over.
I agree with him, though.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree
I
with
don't
him,
agree,
but I
like-
don't. There's something about him when I look at him. I'm like, I think I see in you what other people see in Dion that I don't see and that I don't like. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Because it hurts
Totally.
my feelings.
'Cause you're a
sometimes.
fan of Dion,
I love
'cause of the-
Dion, and then
yeah.
people are like, "Oh, he's a jerk. I hate that guy." But then I don't see it.
It's a Miami thing. It's the same thing.
It's a cockiness,
Being
yeah.
cocky,
Perfect.
it
Yeah.
turns a lot of people off, and when you're that way, people don't like you. And Dion
Yeah.
was like the Florida State version of
And Shadir was talking
swagger,
about like,
yeah.
if you don't want to flip the franchise, if you don't want to change the, the entire.
But he's not
thing,
going to do
then
that.
don't pick me.
He's not going to do
like-
that when he goes there. He says that. Like Travis Hunter has a better chance of doing that, not Shador.
But these players, like, they need to be cocky, right?
Yeah.
It's like
I don't know.
you want that mentality.
It's confidence versus cockiness, and that's the thing. A lot
I don't
of those
know what
guys
it is.
have confidence.
I don't think there's a dead set way to do it. I do feel like I have a lot more respect for the guys that never needed to do that. Like even Dion. Like I feel like there is some negativity that came with that because obviously he thinks he's the best, but we all know he's not. He's very good, but I don't
When
think
he's coming out of college.
I don't
he
think
was
anybody
probably
would
the
say
best.
he's the best.
Yeah,
I see both sides to it.
because he
It's just
was
he
that
doesn't
way.
rub
He
with me
was
well.
the best at one point in his career for sure.
Yeah, no, and and still won and considered the best athlete that ever played the game.
Yeah.
So and
He was able to play both ways.
Speaking of that, I was watching a video of Bo Jackson,
Oh.
a highlight of him playing baseball.
Running on the wall
and there
for
was,
the first time.
Well, no, there was one where it's like just a bomb to right field, and he grabs it, and he's at the warning track, and he launches
Like
it
a
to third
frozen
base.
rope.
I've never seen somebody throw a ball like that.
Yeah.
He throws it from the wall to third base, and they tag the batter out. It's insane.
Yeah.
And then he's just like, "That's what I do."
I like it when the Urban Legends came out in the 90s. Like, he killed a hog with a
yeah.
rock.
I love that one. That's my favorite. Like,
I'm so glad you
Bo
brought that up.
Jackson.
And it's funny. In the 90s, we're all, yeah, everybody's going crazy. And then you say that in 2025, where you're like, oh, my God.
What a monster.
like,
He should be kicked off the radio.
Killed a hog with a rock? Why did he do that? Just for fun?
That's what,
And then you're like,
when you live in the South
kill it?
and you have nothing to do, you kill hogs with a rock.
Yeah, but like, weren't his parents and whoever owned the hog mad? Like, you just killed that guy. That's an expensive
Yeah.
hog. Anyway.
lot of
Was that
money.
a true story?
Nah, I don't know.
Oh,
It's an
wait,
urban
yeah.
legend. So the Dolphins, real quick.
Oh, yeah. Back to
So
the
you're giving up on
sorry.
the Dolphins ever winning a
Yeah.
Super Bowl in your lifetime.
Well, here's why.
you still got like what, 30 years, 40 years maybe?
So it seems like that the best way to win the Super Bowl is to have a really good run franchise, and it starts with ownership, right?
Yep.
And even if the owner's not that involved, you need a good general manager.
Mm-hmm.
Like we've seen it with Philadelphia. He's considered the best general manager in the NFL. I
Yeah,
forget-
what's that guy's name? It's
I've used someone.
Sorry, I didn't mean to
saying
put you on the
Yeah.
spot.
I'm not even going to take a guess.
But so God, it's on the tip of my tongue. Anyway,
Tom Morrow.
the
He's better than old Terry in Atlanta.
Ugh.
so
He sucks.
and then of course you need to kind of be lucky in the fact that be in the position to take a quarterback that ends up developing into a good, because
Yeah.
you can even look at Jalen Hurts and say, like, when he was drafted, a lot of people were talking S about that pick, and they're like, what are you drafting this guy? You got Carson Wentz. He's he'll take you to.
He's already bought you one.
Yeah,
You can do another one.
Is it Howie Roseman?
has me Howie Roseman.
There you go.
So,
Thank you, Christine.
So then, but a good general manager sees that and like, hey, we'll develop, Jalen Hurts into the system
Mm-hmm.
and that we've built, and then and then draft other players that even like that
Get the extra pieces.
when they
Well, doesn't this sound like common sense?
Yeah.
I mean, hearing you say this makes me mad because isn't this what Atlanta should be doing? But somehow we never do it. Guarantee you, we're not going to take anybody for our O line. We won't take anybody for our deal. We won't take anybody of that. We always take some sort of like, I guarantee.
Yeah.
You know what we're going to take? A running back.
But
That's
they're-
what we're going to take.
But
a
they're
running
not.
back.
But Philadelphia's not perfect because at one time they drafted Nelson Aguilar
Yeah.
over Justin Jefferson.
right.
You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah.
And that was one of the biggest mistakes in the draft, obviously, because they had Justin Jefferson. They could have drafted him. They're like, we want Aguilar. Or whatever. Was it Aguilar or was it one of these?
It wasn't Jefferson. I know that.
It's super fast wide receivers that end up being like he has 3 years in the league, then out. But anyway, so my point of the Dolphins is then I look at the Dolphins. I'm like, all right, well, so what are we gonna do here? I don't think Tua is gonna make it. We got to get rid of Tyreek Hill. Because he wants out. We weren't even playing him at the end of the year.
Yeah,
like,
he was just a target out there.
But there's still a bunch of money we wrapped up in his contract and stuff.
You're looking really
Screw
sad.
it.
You're looking really sad.
Well, it's like the Cleveland scenario. You put all that money in.
Yeah, and then you got this quarterback who's okay, gets the ball out fast,
What do
but
most-
he's getting injured. I mean, it's like, would I ever make the bet that Tua's not going to get knocked out again? Hell no, nobody. Like,
What do most
statistically-
Dolphins feel about Tua? Like, not lying to yourself. You're a Dolphins fan secondary. I understand behind your bets. But, like, when you look at it, like, he's not the guy then? Because he's too injury prone.
It's not even the injury because
He makes bad decisions with his head?
You can make the argument that concussions are random, and then yes, he has more than the average amount by far, so he could be prone to it or whatever.
Got a couple fins in the chat room that are sick of him.
But even if he never gets another concussion, it's just is he going to? And then our team's weak. I've heard Mike McDaniel, which I was super excited. I'm like, oh, this nerd knows what he's doing. He's a genius. And then a lot of I've heard that players are showing up late and just taking fines and stuff. And I'm like,
you're losing them.
It's just like, do they respect him
respect
as
you.
a
No.
hard nosed?
They want to slap your gold rimmed glasses off. Guaranteed.
Which I made the joke at first, but it does other young.
But you can't fake that. No, but you can't fake that. You know who has that? Jimmy Johnson. Not to go back to it, but there's some kind of
authority that he has.
And Jerry Jones has it too. Whether you like him or not doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But they have that. There's a level of something that they have where you're going to get that level of
Charisma
respect.
and authority
You're gonna get that
together.
respect.
Yeah, but even other young coaches, McVay,
He
of course,
hasn't.
but he's buff and looks cool, so maybe that's it. But
And
they,
his wife is freaking gorgeous. I'd respect him just on that.
Green Bay's coach is young, Minnesota's coach is young, and
I
so,
do not respect Raheem Morris.
And both those teams are doing way better than the Dolphins. I don't know. It just so I'm like, okay. Well, then we're just like every other NFL team where all our fans are like, okay, well, what we need is a quarterback. It starts over and over, and then it's like, I don't think that's it.
No, I think it's the franchise. Like, look at the Commanders right now. Jaden Daniels looks amazing, and they got rid of the ownership, and they
got
changed,
that Debo.
and they're just doing fantastic now. They're this team to be scared of this year coming up.
Their franchise was garbage, the laughing stock of all the NFL.
And what did they do?
And
Got rid of the owner.
Got a new owner.
And then what did they
that's
do?
put her-
and you
But
made me
these
mad
owners
even
aren't
saying
going.
that. You made me mad even saying that because you're right. Tom was like, oh, you're going to get the guy in here, and then you got to start just adding the pieces around him. Don't ever say that again because the Falcons never do that, and that's what you're supposed to do.
Well,
that's what I do when I play Madden,
Yeah.
and then my season's pretty good, and I'm not even good.
Speaking of Jimmy Johnson, that's exactly what he did in Dallas. He went and okay, we got to fortify our offensive line because if the offensive line's crap, our quarterbacks and our running back's going to get hurt.
But
that's
you know
the first thing he did.
This did make me feel better. A better Falcons fan than me, Ghost of Manute Bull, in the chat room said that we only sent defensive coaches to the combine. Okay. I feel a little.
They only sent defensive coaches?
Yeah, great job, guys.
So, okay,
That's going to make me angry.
you know what it would take for you to force out an NFL owner? It takes what Dan Snyder did, which
You got to be like
Which
a
is
super
like
rotten human.
25 years
So we're going to have to blackmail him for 25 years
of
worth of
horrible
stuff.
behavior. And, I mean, did you see with the cheerleaders?
I did see that. It's horrible.
Like,
John Gruden.
all this.
Horrible.
Wasn't that your friend?
Because guess what?
Pass.
All these other billionaires, they're like only 32 people in the world get to own an NFL
It's a very elite
team.
group, yeah.
And so they're holding on to it with everything they got, and so even though all these dodos are people that don't deserve to own, like the guy from the Jets, wears a big gold chain. That's his name on it. That dodo. I say dodo. He's a billionaire that obviously is smart, but I don't think he knows how to run an NFL franchise. But it's like I
He's
think
taking advice from his sons.
if you're a Jets fan,
Madden.
Tom would do that. I bet.
You have to
would.
be you have to be looking at the Jets like I'm gonna die before they ever go to the Super Bowl because look at this guy. His name's Mark, I think.
What's the salary cap at now?
Near 300 million.
300 million,
They
yeah,
just
I think,
keep raising it.
Yeah, and they just kept raising
Yeah.
it. Jeez, Louise.
And they're going to keep raising it because
Yeah.
right now the NFL is making more money than they ever have every year. It's a giant live event. They're branching off into Netflix and streaming services. They're doing another Brazil game this year.
They're going to Europe all the time.
I think they realize the streaming services.
Do we get any more teams, you think, ever? Expansion teams within North America?
I don't think so because of streaming, I don't think they're like really pushing to like you remember like they're Jacksonville may go to Europe and be in England
I don't think
or whatever.
that'll happen.
And-
It'd be too hard to the logistics of the games. would be
traveling
too hard.
alone.
Also, another thing that I did see, like since we're talking about it, are there any other rule changes that they're making for the next season? Because the only other thing that I saw that they're adding in preparation to you being here is that they are planning, and they haven't announced what they are, but they planned 4 more kid-themed games.
Okay, so like the Nickelodeon
So
game.
they're expanding their youth department, and they're going to do because the one.
Like the Play 60
They
and
did
all that stuff.
the Simpsons one was very well received, and they want to do some more of those.
Yeah, and they're going to start bringing in different streams available. They're probably going to bring in a stream that's like catered toward women, maybe with even women. You know what I'm saying?
Like the players are throwing sandwiches.
They, and to just keep building it. I don't know where it stops. Because I don't foresee like a downturn in the popularity.
Whenever
of
you
the
say
NFL.
downturn, I think of ladies and nipples.
Right?
Well, think
remember
about
when
each franchise is worth what? $400 billion for each, even the worst
No,
franchise.
I don't-
400. No, it's
No, I don't think all of them are.
No.
4 to like 9 billion. Well, actually, nothing less than 5.5 billion.
So each one's at least $5 billion.
So I think the Dallas is the most valuable franchise, and some people said that it was going to be like 12 to 15 billion at the very most. But
Yeah.
most teams are worth like 8 billion, right? I mean, an insane amount of money. I don't know how like all these teams that seemingly never make it every year be with the same owners. Like I think it starts with them, and that's like. Going to be the problem. Now, you can look out and draft a quarterback that maybe
Turns your
change
team
everything.
around, yeah.
But
the Jaden Daniels effect, you mean?
but even that though,
I don't think that was just Jaden Daniels.
No, it wasn't
It
just him.
him.
But
yeah.
he did pan out really well.
Yeah.
My God, he's good.
I'll bet the under on the Washington next year because of the hype.
Oh, you're saying the wins? Is this going to be another Steelers bet?
Well, speaking of Steelers, I'll bet the under on them too.
He loves seeing people succeed, and then he's like, "Oh,
But that's
they're
what
gonna
I'm going to
fail.
bet against
They're
their
gonna
failure.
fail.
I'm going to bet on their failure.
Well, because that's what happens. It's like the hype. You bet against the hype. There's all this hype, like, oh, Washington.
you say this all the time, but you're wrong.
Yeah,
Yeah, he does.
they-
Yeah, he does. Yeah,
You say this all the time, and you're
then-
wrong.
no, but
and it's
that's-
been proven
then
multiple
why don't
times.
then you guys should
You
start.
haven't learned from your mistakes,
So
man. What are
this
you
year,
doing?
why don't we do for the next football season?
Gonna get
Why
hurt.
don't
Bet
you
on the
take,
overs?
No, but why don't you take an amount of money, and why
Okay.
don't you take an amount of money, and then I'll be like kind of the instigator and pot stirrer because I don't really care about this stuff as much as you guys do.
Well, my
and then
wife
you
would-
guys can battle to see who is the ultimate football knowledge
Should we
gambler.
do it on the Costco 100-inch TV? Because I tried to buy one. My wife said no with our tax money.
They're not that expensive now.
They're not.
either.
They're like
not bad.
$1,700 for
Yeah.
a 100-inch.
Yeah, not bad.
I've heard also some rumors or some theories from people thinking that the Eagles are set up to win back-to-back Super
Oh, you
Bowls.
think repeat?
As long as they, obviously don't
Stay
have major
healthy, yeah.
injury. But
usually the
everybody's looking at their team and like, man, they're going to lose Sweat, I think. But all their other key players are under contract long term, and they've got a really good group of rookies and a good organization. And it's like besides injury, they're looking at the
Just terrible fans.
Yeah.
I just said that to make them mad.
Pretty much anyone
I
from-
don't really care.
Anyone from Philadelphia is horrible.
Yeah. All the people
Wife was
from,
born in Philadelphia.
Yeah, all the people from Philly they're kind of stinky.
Yeah?
Kind of stinky people.
As what could actually hurt the NFL in the next 20 years because they've remember the concussion thing? Like we all looked at like, oh, maybe this is the downturn of the NFL.
Or gambling.
It
I think
died out.
gambling is the only thing that could take down the NFL.
It died out quickly.
Gambling. That's gonna.
well, no, I'm saying if they find out that players are gambling on the games and throwing
No.
games, if they ever get caught doing that, that would kill the
But
NFL.
they never will because of the whole the way gambling works. A player would never.
Well, the NBA's taking out people right now. They're suspending guys.
Yeah, there was that one guy from
Yeah.
Miami, I think, that got suspended.
yeah, but
Guy from Toronto. He was here
but they're
because he
not
was gambling in college. Yeah.
But they're on the apps and stuff. Like some of these dodos, they get on apps and whatever, gambling on games because it's so easy. But they're not throwing games because they can make way more. You don't understand? You can't bet that much. It wouldn't be that advantageous for them to throw a game because they make more by 100 times than they could ever make throwing a game.
But
and
you
putting
probably get a
themselves at
bunch
risk.
of people betting on that same way, and you get your bookies gets his hooks into you, and then you
Bookie
make
hooks.
just as much.
You know, one of those bookie hooks.
The hell
in
you-
there.
You know what I'm
Hey,
saying?
You know what a bookie is?
Yes.
But there's
Once the bookie's got his hooks in you,
They-
you're hooked.
Do you understand? The bookies are not what the movies say they are.
Yeah, it's a little guy in an Applejack hat. He gets his hooks in you, and then you're
We just
addicted to
talked
gambling.
about Dallas moving their team to Vegas because of all this stuff.
Yeah, no, because Vegas is a multi-billion
You're telling me
dollar
they couldn't
industry.
get into a couple players and make them change their decision on stuff?
They
He's
don't
just saying
care.
it's highly unlikely.
It's highly unlikely, but it's
No,
possible.
it's impossible because I was explaining to you.
possible.
No, it isn't because I know
the guy that
because
always bets the Steelers.
no, because
Losing.
the actual bookies themselves, they don't care about
Yeah.
throwing a game, and like you know what I'm saying, they just get the vig. That's how they make the money. There's like they take bets on both sides, and whoever wins, who cares? They always
They're
make
always
money.
gonna make money. The house always wins.
And then
Yeah.
so if you want someone nefarious, say you like some mobster wants a NBA player to throw a game, right? The mobster couldn't get enough money down to pay the NBA player enough to throw the game. Because the NBA player makes $13 million, even a lower NBA player makes
But
millions
it's a
a
good
year.
fantasy.
You pay. What are you going to pay him? $10,000. You couldn't bet enough. You understand?
If you caught enough people, I'm saying if one player, like let's say I'm gonna
Now, the chat
gangster
room is
threatens your
saying-
family and says
I
I'm gonna
know.
hurt your family
Now,
unless you point shave.
Conway J is saying my best friend is a bookie. That's not true, Tom. So I don't know what he's referencing.
What's not true?
I don't know. That's what
bookies
I said. I
can't-
don't know what
bookies
he's.
can't get your hooks into people,
Yeah,
and they can't get enough money. Because think about it, if you get a bunch of bookies together to work together, you could get enough money to make it possible to do that.
No, you can't. Because you
Are
understand.
you talking to me about math about this?
Yeah, I know.
It is possible.
No, it isn't because you don't know about gambling. I understand gambling. They move the lines. Even if you started pouring money on one side, they're moving the point spread to a
Yeah.
point where then it's not. You couldn't beat it anyway. You know what I'm saying? Like,
But if you did it
because
early,
that's
you
how-
could do it. That's what I'm saying.
No, because they couldn't get enough. There's limits. You understand? And every account, they want to know where it's coming from. You can't just go and be like, I want $5 million on this. They'd never be able to take it. Like, there's only a small amount of people that can go to even a sports book in Vegas and bet over $1 million. Mattress Mac.
This is what Jay says. He says he usually is always rooting for the underdog because he is the house in caps. I've sat and watched NFC championship games where he was riding on $250,000.
Yeah. No, I understand that because obviously, if the favorite wins, the bookie could be out because his books are off balance. You know, but that has nothing to do with trying to bribe a player to throw a game. Because what I'm saying, well, how much are you going to bribe him? It couldn't be worth it for the player. You see what I'm saying?
I do. I do see what you're saying.
So the gambling's never going to affect the NFL.
Well, I'm not just talking about money, but also threaten personal safety and stuff like that.
No, that's not going to happen.
That's not gonna-
No,
that
that
doesn't
doesn't happen.
happen?
No, you're going to threaten a player. No, that's ridiculous. That's movie ass.
That's movie ass.
Yeah.
That doesn't
I
happen in the real
love
world.
movie, yes.
Yeah.
I love it.
No, that's not. I know
I
how
love
gambling. That's all I listen to. I understand it. And
Yeah, but like time and time again, you can talk about how many times you lose in here.
the money is within the masses. It's dilly dads betting $50 bucks. That's all where the
Everyone
money
getting
is.
on the apps
That-
and making $10 $5 bets.
Yeah.
That's the money. And
I
that's
do-
it.
I do
all
miss
the
the-
small
The days when you'd have people boiling your feet. I miss that. That's what
Mr.
somebody
Red
said in the
Shoes.
chat room. Yeah. Anything else to tidy up before we get out of here? Good job today, buddy.
thank
Thanks
you.
for being here. It's good to see
Had a
you.
good time, man.
Plug my con, please.
MyCon is April 19th. It's got the Wyndham iDrive Avanti. They changed the name of the place, but it's the Avanti.
Is this a Ravadage?
No, I made sure it was Avanti.
Is
I
this the
I wrote the
Pilar?
stuff. Make
Is
sure
this the Pilar, the
if you're-
Ramanaj, or the Avanti?
if you're worried about it, go to mystic-con.com and you can find all the information you need there.
Yeah, and that is not a
It's not a Blue Chew
yeah,
website.
Mystic.com. Blue Pill Men. Blue Pill Men. We could be the new Blue Pill Men, the three of us. We could be those guys. I get to be Red Man, though.
I want to see him take the pill. They never
I
show
know.
it.
No, Red Man, he doesn't need it.
Nah,
Don't you
they
gotta-
all need it.
The
Don't you
other
gotta
two
take it like 3 hours ahead of time
You know,
anyways?
No,
not to handle
they're
this.
instant.
The worst part is while Red Man's doing his business, the one with the wig is petting her hair. And I'm like,
I don't like
do
that. That
I don't
freaks
like
me
that
out.
either. She's not a cat. God almighty.
All right,
I like POV anyways.
we'll
I don't
be
want to
right
see
back.
the guy's face.
Get out of here.